edition of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is...
You think you're okay? You got it?
To have, right? So much success that you have more than one place to be.
5-3, touchdown, Oregon.
Off a dribble, launches, and hits the three. Oregon leads.
What a great opportunity it is to be able to play at the University of Oregon.
I'm just incredibly proud to be a part of something like this.
She wants another three. Oh, three in a row.
Swing and a miss. Oregon is headed to the Super Regional.
Fans being out there making this a great impact.
We are so privileged and so fortunate. We get to see all these young people. We get to see this incredible growth, which is what college is all about.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
What a weekend it was in the Willamette Valley for Oregon Athletics. Ducks volleyball went on the road. They got 3 match wins over the weekend. Oregon football, they conquered Boise State at Autzen Stadium. Got it done. Took a little bit down to the wire, but Oregon 2-0 on the season. And Oregon soccer, they start their home slate 4-0 as they enter into Big Ten play. We'll talk with Graeme Abel on the show coming up later in the 1 o'clock hour. But Oregon football going up against Boise State, and this was a tough matchup coming in. If the season ended after week 1, this could have been a matchup between 2 playoff teams. Boise State, the best representative out of the group of 5. They were the highest receiving votes team out of the group of 5 in the AP poll coming into last week. And Oregon, obviously, ranked inside of the top 10. It was a thrilling game at Autzen Stadium, full of some big-time moments. Let's revisit what happened on Saturday. The game recap, Jerry and Georgie on the microphone.
And here we are again at Autzen Stadium. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ducks and the Broncos. Looks like Whittington in the backfield now, back to throw off little play action, going deep. Here's the deep shot. He's got him down there. He's got it. Evan Stewart, great down from behind inside the 10-yard line. Perfectly thrown ball. Gabriel, Whittington to his right, keeps it, goes left, strolls into the end zone. Dylan Gabriel, and Oregon gets their first lead of the ball game. Gabriel, he's got back to throw. Sits, looks, wants to go deep down the middle. He's got him. Touchdown, Oregon.
Evan Stewart's running a post pattern, puts it right over the top of the free safety. He's just too fast.
It's a thing of beauty. Tight end also had 2 tight ends in there. And to throw. Quick slant inside. And he might break it. Trayshawn Holden to the 15. Holden to the 5. Holden all the way. Oregon ties it up on a 59-yard strike from Dylan Gabriel. Not much of a rush. Punt away. Very low again. Tez going to take it. Try to get it upfield. First man misses. Trying to get it outside now. We'll cut it up. Got room. 20 with a couple of blockers. 30, 35, 40. Down the sideline of the 45. He's got the speed. He's got room. He's going to score from the 5. Touchdown. Tez Johnson, punt return. We knew he was capable, and he got it done. Here's the catch and return. Whittington's going to go back. 10, gets a crease, 20, bumps into a player, cuts off a 30, gets outside. He's got some speed and a block. He's at the 50. He's got a block and speed. 1 man to beat. 30. There's the block. It's a 10. That's a touchdown, Oregon. Noah Whittington. That's a tremendous return by Noah Whittington. Manson from the shotgun, back to throw again. Steps and throws, incomplete, knocked it out. Brandon Johnson again with a great reach and slap a ball away. Pass on a snap, done to hold. Snap good, placement good, kick on the way. It's good, it's over. Oregon has won their first game against Boise State in a most dramatic fashion.
What a game it was on Saturday, full of some big-time moments, some highlight plays, led by the special teams. And for the first time in the Big Ten, Oregon has taken home a Big Ten Player of the Week. Yes, Tez Johnson, the Big Ten Special Teams Player of the Week that came down from the league office this morning. Tez Johnson's 85-yard punt return for a touchdown, the longest for Oregon since Jarris Byrd did it about 20 years ago for the Ducks. And it wasn't just Tez getting it done on special teams. He had a return touchdown. Noah Whittington, with a little help from Jaden Lamar, had a return touchdown. And Atticus Sappington, special teams, with the game-winning field goal. Special teams played a huge part in this ballgame and Oregon's win over Boise State. And I thought that this game against an opponent that's pretty good, probably an increased opponent in terms of talent that Oregon saw from week 1 to week 2, saw a lot of improvements from the Ducks squad as well from week to week, in particular in the explosive plays. That's something that Coach Lanning wanted more of, to find more of an offensive rhythm. The Ducks did that early and often. Evan Stewart in the first half, 67-yard bomb down the sideline, leads to a Dylan Gabriel quarterback keeper for 6, and then Evan Stewart again over the middle with the touchdown. Trayshawn Holden, a huge explosive touchdown. The special teams explosive plays, those were big for the Ducks. Getting the offense in rhythm and putting Boise State's defense back onto the field. Oregon also improved from a half-to-half basis. The Ducks didn't run the ball very well in the first half. If you listen to our post-game show on the Oregon Sports Network, you heard Dusty Hara catch up with Coach Lanning. And, well, Coach Lanning, in a few words, said, we got to run the ball in the second half. Didn't use those words exactly, but he said we got to run the ball in the second half. That's what the Ducks did. 16 first-half rushing yards, 93 second-half rushing yards. Still some things to clean up, still some things that Oregon has to go to the doctor and visit yesterday and today. Some fumbles in critical spots, some penalties in critical spots. Those hurt. But for the most part, Oregon, I thought, did a better job of moving the ball offensively and finding that rhythm. Showed off a ton of resiliency. That was really the word of the day for Coach Lanning, resiliency. It was a resilient Oregon team that got the 37-34 win over what could be a potential playoff team in Boise State. Coach Lanning, off the field on Saturday, he met with the media. Here is Coach Lanning's post-game press conference.
Hats off to Boise State. I thought they played a hell of a game. They created some takeaways. Usually in a game where you have 2 takeaways, you're not going to have an opportunity to win that game. I think really the difference tonight was special teams. Big punt return, big kickoff return. Those were really, really critical in this game. And then, told Atticus early on when he missed the extra point that you're going to have an opportunity to kick again for this team, and it's going to, be the difference for us, and it was. So really proud of him. Their back is special. I mean, that guy is a really, really great back, and Spencer, their head coach, did an unbelievable job tonight, but I think special teams was probably the difference for us, and really proud of our guys to show some resiliency. It was kind of a comeback game in a lot of ways. Guy makes a mistake, somebody else covers up for that mistake later on. Miss a kick later on, you get an opportunity to make a kick. So there was a lot of back and forth, and certainly a lot to learn from this game.
One thing you talked about this week was trying to create more explosive plays. You did that tonight.
We saw a couple of those.
Yeah. What do you feel like you did to help kind of loosen things up that way?
I think our coaching staff did a good job of recognizing when we'd have those opportunities. They got in blitz, and we were able to hit the slant to Trayshawn for a touchdown. We told ourselves early on that we're going to take a shot down the field. Evan capitalized on that shot, really good pass there from Dylan. So, I thought we were looking for those opportunities and making sure that we pushed the ball down the field.
Another week with sacks on Gabriel. What's the issue here with the offensive line and him not getting on the same page?
Yeah, I mean, early one was a mistake of holding the ball. We're going to cut protection to try to chop them down, and they have a good defensive line. We wanted to be aggressive early and, held the ball a little longer than he needed to. Some of the other ones I'm going to have to watch the film and figure out what that looks like so we can, attack that.
You guys rotated a lot at center and guards. Is that sustainable? What's the plan in terms of...
We'll watch the film and see, right? Again, I always talk about if you're good enough, you're old enough. Ever since I've been here, we've rotated on the offensive line when we had players that were able to do that. JPJ was rotating early on, his first year. Last year we had, Poncho rotating in. So that's not uncommon for us to get, the best guys in the lineup and keep guys fresh. So we'll watch the film, evaluate it, and figure out, our best 5 or 6 or 7, whoever that might be that can play winning football for us.
How did you feel the defense did against Genty up until the late break run, and then what happened on that run play from what you can see?
Kind of what he creates with a lot of teams. You can bottle him up, and then he makes a huge, explosive play. Certainly miscommunication on that last that big run. We weren't sound where we were at defense. We have to make sure that we're sound and we're all 11 playing the same call. But right before half, him breaking some tackles there on a big run, we kept him bottled up, and he just doesn't go down. Right, that's what makes that guy special.
Coach, obviously, I think you'd like to win these last 2 games by a lot more, but to win these last 2 games the way you guys did, how much confidence can this bring for you guys down the road, and what can 2 wins like this do for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, the win's the most important part, right? You got to start with the W, but there's certainly a lot that we can learn from it. So, again, I think we saw a resilient team. There was never bad energy on the sideline. These guys the whole time had the mindset of we're going to go win this game, and we put ourselves in some really tough situations, and we're still able to come out of it.
I can't even think of the last time you guys Oregon has went 2 weeks without a running back having a touchdown, a rushing touchdown at least. With those struggles that, you guys are having in the run game, how is that affecting the offense overall?
I actually thought Jordan James ran the ball well tonight. I think when you look at the rushing total, and there's some negatives in that were created, but, overall rushing total, some of those sack stats probably showed up in there and affected that. But I thought Jordan ran it well. At the end of the game there, obviously we made a decision not to go score to make sure we didn't leave any time on the clock. And be able to kick a field goal to win. So that might have been one that could have gotten punched in, and our mindset kind of changed once we got inside of a minute there. But certainly it's something we want to go attack and figure out. We were 2 for 2 in the red area, so, we scored when we got down to the red area. We just got to get to the red area more, right, and figure out how to make that happen.
Take us through the emotions of that fourth quarter with the returns, turnovers, all that, kind of keeping your composure through all that.
Yeah, you just got to think about the next play, right? It's certainly an emotional game, and you got to, but we talked to the players today before the game ever started about pay attention to your attention. Like, where's your focus, right? Really pay attention to what you're focused on and where that matters, and that's really what the end of this game was about. It's about the next play. Even when we're going out for the field goal, we're talking about, okay, where will we want this ball if it goes to overtime, right? What are our thoughts, right? Always trying to think ahead and be aware of the next play and what's next.
What's your thoughts on Evan and the big play potential he has of breaking plays? So it seems like a catch and go, and he could go to the house.
Yeah, I think we got some, Evan's one of them, but we got some really special skill, and we got to find ways to continue to get the ball in their hands to where they can take advantage of it. And then, just as important is how those guys block when they don't have the ball, and that's what makes them real threats. But Evan did a good job of that tonight.
What did you see on the second fumble with Dylan? It looked like maybe the snap, and it wasn't timed up.
Yeah, it looked like the ball got snapped early. I think there's obviously some communication that he wasn't ready for the snap, so it probably shouldn't have came out yet. I don't know if there was a clap or something that was, heard, and so we'll have to figure that out. That's something to address for sure. Happened twice tonight.
This is the first time that Oregon has beat Boise State. I know that you weren't here for those other losses, but what does it mean to you in just your third year here in this program to be able to do something historic and get the win tonight?
We won, right? Nothing more than a W, right? Now I'm really starting to think about the next game and what we can go fix.
Hey, Dan, we saw you say after the Idaho game, you told the team that you were disappointed in kind of the process, and just, this is another game where, it was down to the wire. Seemed like it could go either way for a lot of the game.
Yeah.
Kind of just along the same, like if you apply the same sort of assessment, like you don't seem as disappointed, but like kind of how would you describe your feeling about the process of this game?
Well, I have a sense of relief, because of the result, but again, try to focus on the process. And there's a lot of things that I think that we can go attack and fix. And there's certainly some things to fix, right? There's certainly some things to improve. I thought offensively we did a better job, in the second half of being able to move the ball. I think we really started off really slow. We got to figure out the cause of that and make sure that doesn't become the case for us. But we'll figure that out, right? That's our job as coaches. That's our job as players for every one of these guys to go to work.
Even if you're sorting out some of the O-line rotation, Dan, as you mentioned, are 4 different lineups and 11 changes and 57 plays too much? Was that by design? And does this uncertainty give you pause or raise questions about in the offseason about the spring, about mixing and matching personnel as much as you guys did?
Well, I think if you're mixing and matching today, that's probably a good reason to make sure you mix and match in the spring. But, how long did it take you to do all that math? Just keep track. Good. I'm glad you figured it out. We're going to figure out who the best is. Keep working it.
What have you just thought of Tez's progression? Obviously last year, Troy Franklin was kind of that go-to guy. Last week, it was Tez in the passing game. Tonight, it was the special teams. Just what's it been like watching him turn into the player that he's become, and just how much of a difference is he just making, this season already?
Yeah, he's a guy I love going to work with every single day. I've got a lot of admiration and, excitement just getting the opportunity to coach a guy like Tez. He brings a lot of passion and energy. And when it's directed in the right direction, he can be really, really, really special. So I'm proud of his leadership tonight and the way he worked, and certainly glad he's on our team.
Walk us through the execution on the last drive there at sets up the field goal. What point did you decide it was go for 3?
Yeah, it once it got inside a minute, there were moments where we went back and forth from what we call, a barrier type play where we get the ball all the way down to the 1, right, or 2 and not score. And then it got to a point where we were comfortable also with getting a score, once we were inside a certain frame. But more important than anything, possession of the ball. Felt like we got to a point where we were really comfortable making the kick. Really high batting percentage for us with those kicks. So it kind of transitioned throughout the series. It started off as, 2-minute, go score, and then transition as the time went down. And once they utilized their timeouts, to really backing off into more of what we would call a barrier situation to not score and make sure they don't have any time on the clock for them to have that opportunity.
Third quarter, they had the ball 4 times, 2 3-and-outs. I think they had just 40 total yards. What was the adjustments at halftime that led to that?
Yeah, a few different things. Watching ultimately the plays we were giving up, we kind of try to assess what defenses we felt like gave us the best chance to defend those plays. They certainly came back to some of those, and at times we defended them really well. And certainly there's some times that we didn't defend well enough and gave them life. So that's what we have to go address next.
Coach, a lot of positive talk about Brandon Johnson last week, the way he played against Idaho. Tonight, Jabbar had a lot of key pass deflections late in the game. Just talk about the new additions in the secondary and how much they've done so far.
Yeah, I'm glad they're here. I think that third down stop there with the pass deflection by BJ was really critical, and had a third down before where he just got there a little bit late and they were able to complete it and get it first, but came back to him, put him in man coverage again, and made a big time pass deflection. So glad that both those guys are on our team. They're as good as they are football players. They're unbelievable people, and that's what I'm probably more excited than anything to have on our team.
Going to be able to watch Bo tomorrow, and what are you looking forward to about that?
I'll probably be checking the Twitter timeline, but I doubt I'll have an opportunity to watch him. But I'll tell you this: I wish Bo nothing but the best. He knows how much I love him, and I'm excited to see what he does.
We talked to Tez after last week about the confidence that he has returning kicks, but can you talk a little bit about the confidence that you have in your return crew to set the offense up for success?
Yeah, we continue to build that. Obviously a huge play by Noah. I think you're going to see some unbelievable blocks and strain and effort. We talked about how explosive plays get created off that. On the same note, we also had a penalty on a kickoff return that really hurt us. So I'm excited to see what those look like and continue to build off of those. But when you have dynamic returners, I think that can make things really special for you.
Have you talked to Jaden at all? It ends up being a really heady play for him to pick that up. Did he just pick it up at a happenstance, or?
Yeah, and believe it or not, it's a situation that we coach a lot, and obviously we don't coach it well enough, right? That ball should make it all the way in the end zone and be handed to the official. But I promise we'll be coaching that really hard here moving forward.
Yeah, I was just going to ask about that play specifically, and Noah dropping it, but then also Jaden picking it up. Like, I guess you talked about it already, but what was kind of your thought process in the moment when you saw that happen?
Anger. First, right, anger, and then relief when I found out, who picked the ball up. But it's something we can learn from, and I think if you're not learning as coaches and players, then you're not doing your job.
Playing Oregon State next week, early thoughts on just this matchup? It's a different time, different venue, the type of deal for this series.
Yeah, I'm anxious to get an opportunity to play those guys. I know it's always been a well-coached team. I don't think anything's changed there. They certainly have some talent on their team, and they do a really good job. So excited to see our guys go out there again, and we'll be competing against Oregon this week again too, because that's really where our growth starts. But I know Oregon State will be pumped and ready to go, and certainly we'll be excited to play them.
Post-game thoughts from Dan Lanning after Oregon's 37-34 win over Boise State, brought to you by Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center, better cancer care close to home. The quarterback, Dylan Gabriel, he had an efficient day, but still some things to clean up. We're getting to the QB when we return on Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community, all right, so we're all good then. Everything ended up getting right to you.
Students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classroom.
Okay, sweet.
Many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow. You sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
You know you make me wanna kick my heels up and throw my hands up and throw my head back and come on now. Don't forget to say you will. Don't forget to say yeah.
Back on Duck Insider here in the Country Financial Studio. Duck Insider brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Oregon football getting the job done in close fashion on Saturday. Had to hold your breath a little bit. But the Ducks got the win, 37-34. And the quarterback, Dylan Gabriel, he had an efficient day. 18 of 21 passing, 243 yards, 2 touchdowns through the air. He had one on the ground as well. But if you ask the quarterback, there's still some things to continue to clean up for Oregon as they move forward. Dylan Gabriel spoke with the media postgame. Here is Oregon's quarterback.
I guess football, you play with those, that many big momentum swings.
I mean, we tried to shoot ourselves in the foot as much as we could. That's obvious. There's a lot for sure to clean up, but you talk about responding to adversity and seeing guys come together within a game. And you know, the emotional roller coaster some may be on. You know, I just love how we stayed consistent, and I love the guys and how they played.
What does a type of win like this do for you guys as a team? I know you guys have a lot to clean up, but what does this do for you?
Yeah, as a team that's finding our identity together, I think you see a bunch of guys, you know, being more and more connected as the weeks go on through practice, through games, and then you go through adversity like that, and then you find a way to win through a drive that, you know, takes a lot of time off the clock, and you know, you finish it with a field goal. I think that's great clock management, but more importantly, the guys up front, you know, I'm proud of them. I love the mentality they had and in the run game. But more importantly, I think you look at the things you can clean up, and look how good we can be, you know, and that's things we have to clean up. You know, that's me included. You know, taking sacks when I shouldn't, taking negative plays, which puts us behind the chains. It's pre-snap penalties. That's even in game, you know, penalties that, you know, push us back some. So you look at that all as a whole. You dissect these drives and how can you get better.
Point of emphasis was creating more explosive plays this week, and you guys pulled that off. A, what were the key to doing that? And B, how much confidence does that give you that, yeah, you guys can identify an issue you want to clean up and fix it?
Yeah, I don't necessarily think it's identifying an issue. I think we had a lot of shots called, and I look back, too, on that game. Like, there's things that I could have done better to hold a bit longer and try and push the ball down the field. But then you also gain confidence in how we're, you know, creating windows and isolation for our receivers. But hopefully James, like, I don't know if you're in the press box, but kiss the ball, you know, in the air when that ball's flying by. But it's a good time, and I think naturally, you know, that sets us up.
In the first half with so many ups and downs, just what were you telling yourself in those moments, and what were you telling the team to kind of stay on track, stay in it?
Yeah, I think you just look back and you're like, gosh, it's a penalty here. It's everyone taking, you know, their turn of messing up. You know, a fumble on the, you know, minus side of the field that ended up turning into points that I, you know, am extremely disappointed about because it can't happen. You know, just there's no answer to it. So just things like that. You look at us taking our turns, and it's things that we need to clean up, but are fixable. You know?
What did you see pre-snap with Trayshawn on that 57-yard touchdown? Just see man cover. What was the call there?
Yeah, I mean, they got us early with that zero coverage, and believe they had dropouts on that too. But you know, we're in a formation that helped us, you know, get into that call. But also, you know, that's great about the in-helmet communication, getting lined up. But also just having that within our arsenal is a, check, from week to week.
When some of these issues don't look the same as last week, and it's 5 more O-line penalties and 3 or 4 more sacks, fumble in particular, and some of these are repeating. Like clearly, you harped on it all last week. You changed the O-line a lot tonight. What's it gonna take to get these fixed?
Yeah, I mean, you're insane if you keep doing the same. And sorry for my language, the same. There's no, change in result because you're doing the same thing. But I think we've done a good job of changing it in practice, and I think we did clean up certain things, but there's a lot more to clean up. But let's just say we play our cleanest game, that could be the difference, in 10 to 15 plays of us, taking advantage and having positive drives and then touchdowns.
What's the challenge to you with 2 centers, 4 different lineups, and 11 different changes to an O-line in 57 plays?
The challenge, I think we help ourselves out, from January in doing a lot of mixed groups and able to play with, a bunch of different centers. I've played with Bryce Charlie, Poncho, Marcus Harper, within a whole, January to this point. And probably even another one I'm forgetting, but I think that helps us in a bunch of ways. But as you're seeing, we're trying to find our identity as a group, as a unit, and I think that comes with its, learning curve.
Do you think with all the mixing and matching, has that kind of been hard for you to find that consistency you guys feel like in these next games? Are you closer to finding that?
No, I believe so. I think there's, like I said, there's a lot to clean up as a unit, and as you take back, we each took our turns in messing up, and shoot, I'm right at the top of that list. So there's going to be a lot of self-reflection, a lot of going to the doctor, as Coach says, and cleaning up because we have to. There's no, there's only so much you can get away with, and you have to not put yourself in that position because, like I said, towards the end it gets strenuous, and thank goodness for Atticus, but you leave it up to chance, and you don't want to be in those positions.
And there's a lot of long road trips this season, man. With this first one, 45 minutes up the road.
Yeah.
What privilege is that to play in a game like that means so much to so many people living in the state?
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak enough, good about Oregon fans. I think as a player, getting Autzen at night, you just see the fan environment, the fans loving us for who we are and wanting to see us succeed. And as a player who's been at 3 different schools, I notice that, and I feel that, and I think that helps us out as players. But I think it just means a little more when you play somebody within the hour radius, and of course everyone knows the rivalry. But I'm excited to play in it. I watched Marcus play in the Civil War with the green, yellow 808 face mask. So there's a lot of things that I remember on the famous hurdle. So.
When you're a team that's still learning how to win together, and you are playing from behind, and you have had some stuff not go your way. I mean, let's face it, the crowd was booing at times. Yeah. How hard is that for the team to kind of overcome that or keep its composure when there's a lot of guys who haven't quite been out there in that sort of environment before?
Yeah, I think. I hate to say this, but it's FIBU. It's us focused on ourselves in that moment. We dug our own hole, and we had to get ourselves out of it. And you look at those 2 special teams plays. I mean, Tez and Noah, 2 guys that are extremely explosive, but then when they're on the field at the same time for us as offense, you just see how good they are with the balls in their hand, balls. But I think that's something to speak about is the way we responded.
What happened on the early snaps? Dan was saying there was 2 of them. Obviously, we saw the one with Charlie, but you said it happened twice. What happened?
Yeah, with noise, there comes not squeaking the horses, and I need to do a better job of being able to control that. From check to check, there's noise that happens, and we do a great job of simulating that at practice with speakers, but you get what you emphasize, and we got to continue to emphasize the things we need to clean up, so that doesn't happen.
Look, there's a ton to continue to work on for Oregon football, no doubt. No doubt going into next week against Oregon State. There's a lot to continue to work on for the Ducks. But Oregon is still 2-0 headed into rivalry week, and that's big for Oregon to continue to get those wins on the ledger. Someone who knows a little bit about Oregon State and about this matchup, Atticus Sappington, game-winning kick. Hearing from the kicker when we return on Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Kids ask their parents a lot of questions.
Why can't people fly?
Gravity.
Is the moon really made of cheese?
Yep, cream cheese.
When can I move into a big kid's car seat?
For some questions, parents may not have the answer, but that's okay. They can't know everything, but knowing the right seat for their age and size will help protect them in a car crash. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Where do babies come from?
Good luck, Dad. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
Back here on Duck Insider in the Country Financial Studio. Duck Insider brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Ducks against Boise State came down to the wire, and with triple zeros on the clock, ball sailing through the uprights to give Oregon the win off the foot of Atticus Sappington, who was carried off the field by Jeffrey Bossa. Atticus Sappington got it done. Let's get to the kicker, who was able to convert for the Ducks and give Oregon the victory. Here is Atticus Sappington.
I think Coach called this kind of a game of redemptive moments, and an up and down game, maybe for you personally, certainly for the team. What was it like to finish it off the way you did and provide a win for your team?
I just did my part, and Coach always talks about doing your 111th, and I take pride in that, and that was my whole mindset going in, is doing my 111th to go help win the game for the team.
What was going through your mind watching those last couple of plays, the third down, Jordan to the outside to the right, and then setting up in the middle there? Just what are you thinking watching?
Just ready to go. Just focus on my kicks on the net and focus on executing the play to go win the game for the team.
Is there anything in life that compares to a moment like that?
It's pretty surreal. That's one of the best feelings I've ever had in my entire life. So, for me, it's just make the kick and keep stacking and keep getting better and focus on the next kick.
Oregon obviously brought you here to make kicks just like that. How much does a kick in a moment like that reassure your decision?
I couldn't be happier to be here and doing my part for the team and doing my 111th.
Do you have a chance to actually look at film on the sidelines nowadays? Do you have a chance to look back on either the PAT or the kickoff and see what happened there?
Me personally, I just focus on moment of adversity, focus on the next kick, and I'm gonna go make it.
Have you ever had a moment like this from high school to now? I mean, can you call back to a time you felt like this?
I had a game time field goal in high school, but that was pretty epic.
What do you think the emotions are going to be like for you next week? Obviously, going back into Corvallis with that game.
Just focus on doing my job for the team, and doing my 111th, and making the kicks I need to make, and just focus on the opportunity that's ahead.
Is there an added motivation for you, like an extra sort of edge?
Yeah, obviously I want to go win, so.
I mean, what sort of insight can you provide the team to this season? You played there all last year. You know how loud Reeser can get. What have you told the team, or what are you going to tell the team in the days to come?
Reeser gets action-packed. They get rowdy. It's a strong fan base, and we just need to focus on doing our jobs and going out there and executing the way that we know how to execute.
At what point in the game are you thinking to yourself that this looks like it could come down to a game-winning kick?
I just stay present in the moment. When the game's on the line, I'm going to go do it. I'm going to go make it.
Just curious, what's going through your mind, right? As you're prepping for that, how do you get yourself focused? What are you thinking about?
I'm just focused on my breath and just in being grateful for the moment, because God put me in that moment for a reason, and I couldn't be more grateful and thankful to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for putting me out there and calming my nerves and let me go out there and attack it and rip through it and make the kick.
Was this your first game-winning kick in your career?
Yes, sir.
Are you watching the offense operate in that 2-minute drill while they're trying to get in position, or are you doing your own thing, trying to get in the right headspace?
I peek because I want to watch the game too, but and at the same time, when the ball crosses the 50 and it gets in my range, I'm focused on, all right, what does Atticus kicker need to do to go out there and execute the kick and do my 111-15.
Atticus Sappington did his 111th for sure on Saturday. Adversity for Atticus Sappington. Missed an extra point. Made the one that matters. That's all that matters, and went through the uprights, and Oregon got the W. Also going to a familiar place in Reeser Stadium next week. That game for Oregon against Oregon State, 12:30 on Fox. Don't have to buy any subscription services, no streaming services. It'll be on Fox at 12:30. Also be on the Oregon Sports Network. We'll have pregame starting for you at 10:30 up in Corvallis. We're going to step aside, and we're also getting to a coach who hasn't lost in Eugene. Graeme Abel, 4-0 at home to start the soccer season, but also some things to clean up after last week. And talking to Oregon Soccer's head coach when we return on Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear summer vacay, load up on fun in a new Toyota. Go off-road in the 4Runner, haul it all in the Tundra, play hard in the Tacoma, or take the scenic route in the all-new all-hybrid Camry. Visit Toyota.com for more info. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear summer vacay, load up on fun in a new Toyota. Go off-road in the 4Runner, haul it all in the Tundra, play hard in the Tacoma, or take the scenic route in the all-new all-hybrid Camry. Visit Toyota.com for more info. Toyota, let's go places.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I lack a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I want you to know. I said I want you to know right now. You've been good to me, baby.
Back here in the Country Financial Studio on Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Ryan Milano with the head coach of Oregon Soccer, Graeme Abel. Coach, you look good after this weekend. You went on the road, you went at home, you were just about everywhere, and yet we still end up here on a Monday.
I'll take the compliment. Not many people tell me I look good, so I appreciate it.
Well, the team certainly looked good on Sunday, cleaning it up to get 4-0 at home on the season. And there's a lot of pride that goes into defending home turf, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, I think you want to play well in front of your home fans and family and things like that. So, yeah, we always want to put forth the best performance we can do at home and in front of our fans. And so we've done a good job. I mean, Sunday was a challenge, obviously coming off of the road game and with regards to that piece. But I thought, our student athletes responded really well with it.
What goes into sort of the comfortability of being able to wake up in your own bed, drive over to the field, get out on the pitch, and be familiar with the surface? How many of those factors do you think play into having success at home?
Yeah, I think, sleep's a huge piece, right? You know what I mean? When in your own bed and, like I said, with your own pillow and all of those little things that, can't be understated. So that's important. Surface, definitely, we're on field turf, so it's different, than playing on grass and, many different types of grass out there. And so certainly, we love our surface. We, plays true, it's consistent. So there's all those different things, being in the locker room before the game. Most places we go to don't have locker rooms or an actual, it might be a makeshift locker room, but so being in the locker room before the game and those pieces. But, they're the challenges you've got to take on board as a team when you go on the road. And, that's obviously one thing we haven't done well so far this season is how we perform on the road. So that's something we've got to fix. But the home comforts are nice.
Contrasting that to playing on the road. 4-0 at home, but haven't been able to win on the road yet this season. What makes playing away from Pat Bay so difficult?
We've got to get the right mindset. You can't give any opposition team any type of sniff when you're not at their place. I used to work for a head coach that used to use the I think it was from the line 300, give them nothing but take from them everything, and that's almost the mindset you've got to have when you go on the road. You can't give them anything early on to get their crowd involved. We've got 22 kids, they may have 30 kids on the bench, and all their personnel, so they're making a noise. And if you give something away early, then you're fighting an uphill battle right away. Where if you're able to keep it tight early, get a goal, or keep it tight later into the game and sneak a goal later into the game, and then you get the momentum, and the home team becomes a little bit more. It's a little bit more worried about their own results. So that's the kind of attitude you got to have on the road.
You put the road team on the back foot on Sunday. They were a woman down for a lot of it because of a red card in the 21st minute. Talk about how playing from an advantage like that helps control a game throughout.
Yeah, I mean, there's two pieces of it. Obviously, they're obviously down a player with regards to that piece. So you're a number up, so possession becomes a little bit easier. It does become more difficult in terms of breaking a team down in the final third. Because a team's probably going to sit a little bit lower. They're going to sit in the defensive shell a little bit more shape-wise. So it can be more difficult. You have to be a little bit more patient, a bit more probing with the ball. And we felt as we could have been better with that piece in terms of breaking them down into the final third. But that's not something we've really experienced, I don't think. I'm trying to think if we've played anyone in my time here. We've had a player sent off against us. I don't think we have. So, yeah, it's something that's very, very different.
You talk about the different look in the attacking third. 24 shots. We talk a lot about quality of shot. So it's the most shots you've taken in a game since 2021. How did you feel like the quality of shot out of those 24 were on Sunday?
Not too bad. I mean, I think we got into the final. I think we got into the final third the most we have done this season. I think it was like 67 times or something we got into the final third of the field. I think our delivery from wide area has to be better, continue to get better with regards to the actual delivery and the runs. Quality of shot, okay. I think we need to do a better job of actually testing the goalkeeper. I think the goalkeeper made some saves that were fairly comfortable for her. So making her make some saves a little bit more uncomfortable.
So when you're going into this game and you early in it have that extra advantage, Mako Nezu taking your penalty kicks, what equips her to be the person that you feel comfortable on the penalty spot to be able to slot it home?
Yeah, we have a number of them listed 1 through 10 or whatever it is in terms of priority, and they're all good strikers of the ball technically. When we look at doing different penalties and stuff in practice and they've got a routine and things like that, and like I said, they're all really, really comfortably technically good mindset about them. And so feel confident when we put any of those guys up to the penalty spot to take a penalty.
And we continue to talk about quality of shots. Obviously, penalty shots, the most quality of shot that you can get. But also, when you have the ball in your attacking third and feeding it from player to player, continuing to build that chemistry. Throughout this non-conference slate, how do you feel like your team has done to build that attacking chemistry together to get those higher quality of shots you're looking for?
Yeah, I mean, I think over the last... probably not Thursday night, but in the last couple of games prior to that and Sunday, we've done a better job of holding the ball up in the final third. That's allowed us to build kind of that momentum. And chemistry start to, develop between players, and so you've started to see that come out, and you've started to see some of the personality of players start to come out in the final third. So we want to continue to grow that piece, as we go into the conference play, and making sure we can have an impact on that part of the field.
Also in the game on Sunday, Matty Goldberg didn't have to record a save in the first half to continue to keep a clean sheet. That's obviously incredibly important and speaks volumes to the defense as well. If your goalie doesn't have to save and there's still a 0 on the board, it means that your defense is probably doing something good, right?
Yeah, I mean, defending for us, it's from the front. Our front line defends first, especially when the opposition have it in their attacking in their half of the field. So we don't look at it as just the back four defender. We look at it as an entire team piece, and that was what we identified on Thursday that needed to change. And thought we did a fairly good job on Sunday of making sure that they struggled to build through us. Probably too many opportunities where we turned the ball over and we were wide open from a defending transition standpoint. So that piece we need to clean that up, obviously, as we go into Saturday. But yeah, overall fairly happy.
Moving forward now off of this weekend and into conference play, first just the overall impression of the Big Ten as a whole. Played a Pac-12 schedule last year. Is there any general changes from a conference style of play perspective? We think of football and think Big Ten, maybe more ground and pound from an American football perspective. From a soccer perspective, is there a different style of play that you've seen from the conference than what we've seen from conference opponents previously?
No, I mean, I think the super athletic conference, big, strong players, good technically, some very, very good coaches that have been around collegiate soccer and the national setup for a long, long, long time. Really well-respected colleagues, and a lot of good players within the conference, just like we did in the previous conference. So, it'll be a good test for us to play against, a number of new teams in different environments. So we're looking forward to it.
Going up against UCLA, don't have to do too much extensive scouting because you've played UCLA before. They're one of the Pac-12 teams that transfers over. Just the scouting report on the Bruins.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they're always good. They've historically they've been a powerhouse in our country. Produce really good players, and they're obviously in that Southern Cal market, so they're able to recruit fairly easy with regards to that. So, we're familiar with them, familiar with their personnel, know their players, know their coaches, so it'll be a good matchup for us.
They have been a ranked team throughout the season, had a few lackluster results over the weekend, but still a very high-quality opponent coming into Pape. As the home record, you continue to depend Pape Field, continues to rise, and a strong opponent comes in on the other side. What type of level of pride is your team bringing in to the challenge that will be presented this weekend?
No different than any other week. I mean, we don't take any opponent for granted, whether it's UCLA or Sacramento State or CSUN or Seattle U. It's another team that's in front of us, and so we can't allow the team to dictate how we want to do things. We need to make sure we do the things that we want to do to the very best of our ability and do them well.
7 o'clock on Big Ten Plus, the matchup against UCLA on Saturday at Pape. My plan for Oregon fans, you're going to drive up to Corvallis for the football game in the afternoon. You'll have time just to get back to Pape Field right around 6:30. Come right into the stadium. I think that's a great plan. You talk about things that the team wants to continue to build upon in front of those home fans. Just this weekend, what do you want to see from your team to continue to do better and improve on throughout this week?
Yeah, I think when we've got the ball, continue to play well in possession, get the ball into the areas that we want to get into, get numbers into the final third, keep the ball in the final third. We talk about creating those quality goal scoring opportunities. Let's create them, and then if the ball's cleared, let's, like I said, keep the ball in that part of the field and recreate again. Without the ball, be good defensively, compact, get good pressure on the ball, defend how we want to defend, see if we can win the ball higher up the field, to then give us the best opportunity to attack again.
Once again, just one game this week, changes up the schedule just a bit. Does it feel almost like a little bit of a reset where the players mentally can refocus from non-conference slate, conference slate, okay, we're in the Big Ten now?
Yeah, I mean, we break the season into phases, so this is a new phase for us, and it gives us an additional recovery day as well, which is always nice, especially as we start it into a one-game weekend, and then the following week the Rutgers and Maryland. So it's nice to have that one-game weekend. Just like I said, it gives you the extra recovery day and just a chance to decompress a little bit mentally and physically.
First Big Ten conference matchup for Oregon and the athletic department coming up on Saturday. Coach, anything else that fans should know before they get out to Pape?
Come out and cheer and enjoy Corvallis first, and then get your designated driver, get back to Eugene, and come cheer us on.
I think that sounds like an absolutely electric plan to me. Coach, thanks so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
We're going to continue to break it down as Oregon soccer, they play on Saturday. So they played on Sunday. Some products, they also played on Sunday as well. We're going to talk about it when we return on Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
They make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
My son Ricky took his life by the use of a firearm. It broke me, and I contemplated suicide. My grandson, I was gonna have to be here for him. I still own my firearm. I keep it in a safe because I want to keep my grandson and myself safe.
Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
This message is for Shauna, my mom who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You taught me it's never too late to achieve your dreams. I hope to make you as proud as you have made me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Back here on Duck Insider in the Country Financial Studio. Ryan Milano breaking you down through the rest of the show. And we just spoke with Graeme Abel. Now we're going to get to speak with one of his players, someone who had a pretty productive day on Sunday. Yesterday, Haley McWhirter was able to help out a whole bunch of teammates, maybe even got her foot on a ball that found the back of the net. Yeah, Haley McWhirter. Here she is after Sunday's win.
You know, when they're down a man and you guys are only up a goal, I imagine maybe the tension's rising a little bit. Did you experience that either individually as a group, and then what was it like to come through for your team and provide that cushion late?
Yeah, I think with them being down a man and us being up one, we wanted to get a few more goals. And so, I mean, we only got one, but it kind of sealed the game away, so that was nice that we got that. But, yeah, I think we definitely wanted more than just a 2-0 lead. So,
What do you take from this kind of positives and, you know, things to grow from?
Yeah, I definitely think positives that we got the win. we're moving on to Big Ten. It's exciting. There's things we can work on. Always there's things that we can work on. And after this week, we definitely have some things that we can look at and work on and look forward to UCLA. So, yeah.
I guess obviously kind of a tale of kind of two stories between the home and the road games.
Yeah.
But what kind of boost does it give you to be able to start conference play at home?
I mean, it's amazing to start conference play at home, not traveling, and being able to host UCLA and have our home fans and be on our field. It really is a big plus for us. So,
how would you describe your perspective of the goal? I mean, just how the play developed.
So, got the corner. Lexi went up for it and got the header, and I was just like, let me do anything I can to try to get this in the back of the net. Taylor Bryan was up there, jumping for it, and I think it kind of bounced around. I just got my head on it or whatever, and I got in the goal. So, yeah.
Is that, pardon me, I'm a hockey fan.
Yeah.
And a hockey fan, sometimes when you're struggling to score, it's like, let's just get a dirty goal.
Yeah.
Like, do you have that mentality sometimes? Like, it doesn't have to be the prettiest play. Like, if we're trying to break through, let's just...
Yeah, a goal's a goal. You definitely don't, it doesn't need to be pretty. Obviously, it's amazing and looks great when you have a pretty goal, but, like, a goal's a goal. If it's dirty, it's dirty. Like, I mean, anything to get a goal, really. So, yeah.
Anything to get a goal, really. That, I couldn't sum it up any better myself. Got to get it done. Got to get the goal. And the goal is to, after you're done here having a successfully long Oregon career, you go to the next level and you have success there. For football, it's from Saturdays to Sundays, and that's exactly what the products for Oregon football did over the weekend. It was opening week for Oregon football, and we saw a lot of big-time performances and big-time plays for the Ducks. DeForest Buckner of the Indianapolis Colts, he got a sack on Sunday. So did Eric Armstead, getting his first sack as a member of the Jacksonville Jaguars. New team for him, still living in the backfield. Javon Holland, there was what looked like was going to be a touchdown for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Javon Holland comes in with the punch, knocks it out, and completely changes that game for Miami. And then it's about the quarterbacks. Bo Nix, he had his first touchdown, a rushing touchdown against Seattle as he was trying to lead them back, couldn't quite get it done. And as well, it was Juwan Johnson finding the end zone for the Saints. That's what we have from the Pro Duck side. Dan Lanning on the college side, he's meeting with the media. He will be speaking on... Well, tonight on the Go Ducks YouTube channel, it'll be live. Joey will have it for you on the show tomorrow. Athletic Director Tuesday as well will be on the show tomorrow. And Matt Ulmer, after Oregon volleyball got 3-match wins over the weekend, staved off a really tough Grand Canyon team to get a victory there. We're breaking it down with Matt Ulmer tomorrow. And that's the show, everybody. Go Ducks.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never, ever become a minivan mom. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happen.